way there. Oh, man. How is it going? We were just playing outside, and I have a bunch of red bug bites from however long we were outside. The joys of Tennessee. I've been snacking on some of these guys. Nutty and fruity passion fruit. They have hella seeds, and the seeds dried. It's an interesting snack. So I've taken like a day, excuse me, to sit and think of, I saw something really stupid, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, like, why is this person wrong? I see a lot of people online who are like kind of thirst trapping to their audience, who they assume is like, you know, a potential suitor pool, and talking about a variety of subjects, which is fine, I guess. You know, it's a free country. Everyone can pretty much do whatever they want as long as they're not like actively harming other people. So tattoos and weddings. I speak to you with, I worked my first wedding in 2003. So that was 20 years ago. God, look at me, aging myself. Anywho, so that was like my first like serious job. I had a lot of responsibilities. I was a catering captain, not right away, of course, but I did become one over time. And at the time, it was so common for brides to have tattoos. I would say that over 80% of the weddings that I worked, the tattoo had a bride in, or the tattoo had a bride. The bride had a tattoo in some fashion. So it was in the early 00s. So people at the time had like the shoulder tattoos or ankle tattoos. Sometimes girls would have like, you know, like a band of roses or something like that. Dolphins, you know, whatever. Like tattoo, people get tattoos for whatever reason they get them. So some brides had like full sleeves, you know, and like full back tattoos. You know, it was really cool for me because I was just a kid in high school, and I was like, you can fucking do that? That's fucking sick. And these were like expensive as fuck weddings, you know, like, you know, easily they paid like $125,000 minimum, you know, to have all their people there. Because, you know, if you have a 50 person, 100 person, 200 person wedding, it adds up really quick. So most weddings in Sedona obviously were destination weddings. And so people would call us from wherever they lived and book their weddings. And, you know, here, sometimes they would travel with, you know, if they had a photographer that was a friend. Most of the time people would just have someone in their wedding party that was, you know, like people just like really planned these things out far in advance. Most of the weddings that I worked, the couples were much older, and that was very striking to me as a young person being, you know, like 14, 15 years old. Most of the weddings, and again, this is like about 80%, maybe higher, the people were greater than 40 years of age. So they could have been anywhere between like 40 and, you know, I think the oldest wedding we had, the couple was like in their 80s or 90s. So we did have a pretty good spread, but we did not have young weddings. There were maybe like one or two in the whole time of me like catering weddings that were for like young people or people anywhere close to my age. So yeah, totally different perception than like what you would think, right? Most of the people had tattoos. The bride had tattoos. The groom had tattoos. The wedding party had tattoos. Mom and dad had tattoos. Sometimes they didn't, and the family was cool with it. Sometimes they didn't, and the family thought it was weird, but they're like, whatever, you're my baby. I'm not going to get upset about it anymore. So yeah, like that really shaped my formative years working. I had such a sense of gratitude at being like included in these super special, like, you know, romantic events. I thought that was the greatest. I was like, I can get paid to go work weddings and like pass out hors d'oeuvres to people and tell them how beautiful they look. Yes. Win across the board. Like, I love putting people in a good mood. Just something I really like to do. It's frustrating when you can't put someone in a good mood or they won't allow you to, but at a wedding, pretty much anyone will let you be like, oh my God, girl, your nails are beautiful. Oh my God, your hair is perfect. Oh my God, I love, like, you can just throw out compliments left and right and you'll be like the most popular person there. So, and again, I was a kid. So, I was just so happy for other, I've always been one of those people that's been super happy for the success of others. Because for me, it shows me a path of how I can do it, And at the time, in my teens, it definitely was a bit of a staggering realization to see, oh, wow, I probably won't get married for a while. You grow up thinking you're going to get married right away. You'll meet Prince Charming, you'll ride off into the sunset, and everything will be great. So that was very eye-opening for me. I was like, okay, this doesn't really happen until most people are at least in their 40s or around there. Because before that, everyone's too busy fucking around trying to figure out life, see if they can, get a better playing, what's it called in a video game? You can get a better terrain or whatever. So, you spend a good amount of time doing that. But yeah, most of those brides that I saw, they didn't get a single solitary fuck. Some of them, I would say, there were maybe, I've worked thousands of weddings. The summer is wedding season, and we would have sometimes 5 weddings a week. And that wedding season can last, in Arizona at least, anywhere from, like, sometimes people were getting married in February, which I thought was, like, wild. But, so let's just say March. From March up until November, really. You do have some occasional, like, New Year's weddings or, like, Christmas weddings, but most people want to have their day be, like, its own standalone thing. So, of those, if you can try to quantify how many weddings that is by, I just know it's thousands. But of those thousands of weddings, because, over a couple years, that's nothing. 5 weddings a week for like 9 months of the year, forget about it. Only a couple women covered up their tattoos, or covered up some of them. That was not the norm. That was not like a commonplace thing at all. Like, I can think of 2 weddings where a woman covered up like a little tattoo she had and then kept her other ones out, and then like it started to smear, and it became a question later on. I was like, what's she had to change out of her dress, so she was in the back with us, and everyone was like what's good, like, oh, the makeup is coming off. So everyone was just like, what? Like, we had seen, in that was probably like my 3rd year of doing weddings, and that was the first time like any of us had seen that. We were like, that's odd. Okay. So that was in like what, 2007 maybe. And then a couple years later, there was a lady that did like a full airbrush. Like, she showed us a picture of her. She was fully tatted, and his family was like really conservative. And so she airbrushed herself, and no one could tell, so that was crazy. But they did like the champagne spraying thing, and some of it did like like patches of it ended up showing through, and that was an odd look. Excuse me. So yeah, like, of all of those weddings, most of the time, at the time, I would say about a quarter of those weddings were like cake smashing ones, but most of the time it was like both of them smashing. There was only maybe 2 weddings, maybe 3, but it was not common for like the guys to like aggressively like shove the cake in the girl's face. Like, more often than not, it was the girl doing it to him, like as a joke, like bopping him on the nose, and then them like going a little too far. But it did make for some funny pictures. But yeah, that also like wasn't a super common thing back then. So anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that like I saw this video, and this girl was basically saying that like she didn't say it herself, and a lot of people are very careful to like not say what they're trying to say, which I find really weird. But to me, it seemed like she was implying that other people's tattoos wouldn't look good in a wedding dress, but hers would. And I thought that was weird. Like, if some tattoos don't look good, then they all don't. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be precious or anything, but I thought that was a very odd statement, because like I think most of us think about how our tattoos are going to look with our clothes. Maybe the wedding dress isn't like factored in, but most people are aware of like how you're going to look in formal attire with your tattoos if you choose to get them. And for me, it was always a huge consideration. I have most of my tattoos like on the inside of my arms, so like I could potentially, you know, like wear a short sleeve shirt and you wouldn't like notice my tattoos right away. Like, I mean, potentially. So that's just me, because I think they're nice, but maybe you don't want to be showing them off all the time. So it's good to avoid tattoos that are like external, like here on your forearms, and try to go for stuff that's on the inside, things that, you know, at least for me, those were my considerations. So I thought that was a really like absurd take to have, that like some tattoos look better than others. I think tattoos look great like no matter what, and all of the brides that I saw with their tattoos, they rocked them like no matter if they had one or if they had a bunch. Like, so like it's just part of your look, and your wedding party. Like, if you're the only one with tattoos in your like of your bridesmaids, yeah, you might look kind of weird, but like you kind of have to just like think about this stuff ahead of time and go for it. There was also this other really dumb thing she said. She was like, oh, an Apple Watch doesn't go with a wedding dress. Like, why not? How wouldn't it? Especially like a cute little white or silver, you know, wristband. I think that might be really cute, because you're running everywhere on your wedding. That would be like probably the most important day, because what if you have a heart condition? What if you're going to pass out? Because that would be the time you would probably pass out on, you know, the most stressful day of your life. And for me, I want that data, you know. I like having that data all the time. When I'm wearing my watch, I'm like, ooh, my heart rate was very calm here. Ooh, my heart rate was elevated here. Like, I just think it's so silly. Most of the time it's women that have like these crazy expectations of other women, and it's not even the guys, like, at all. Maybe some of the time, but yeah, not as much as you think. So yeah, like weddings, at least in Arizona, which has been a destination wedding spot for probably 20 years now, we wouldn't have had so many visitors to Arizona if we were like, no, you have to do things like this. No, we do things this way. Like, we're super accommodating and flexible, but we do kind of just follow like a set of standard rules, which is just basically allow others to have personal autonomy, which allows you to enjoy your own personal autonomy. Crazy fucking concept. So yeah, weddings should be an expression of like you and your partner and your shared love, And that's it. Like, it should be like such a fun and confident and happy day of your life. Emotional, sure, but like, it should be awesome. So like, I just think it's crazy to see like girls worrying about that, because like that's I get where you're coming from, you know, but your tattoos are going to look great. Like, don't doubt yourself. Like, so like, that's the great thing about having tattoos, at least for me, because I have regretted pretty much every single one of my tattoos as soon as I got them. I was like, oh shit, what have I done? I'm a tattooed person now. People are gonna look at me differently. They're gonna treat me differently. Oh no. And in some ways that can be a good thing. It can keep away people that are kind of like mean and don't like want to get to know you as a person. Because that is what life is all about. Finding out the little stories about things and getting tired of hearing those stories, you know? So yeah, like, if you are thinking that any of your cute little Pinterest tattoos are going to look silly, like, I think that's just so not the right attitude to have. Maybe you're not ready to get married if that's what you're thinking about. If you're thinking about how you're going to look in your pictures, like, come on, you guys. Like, the pictures are like such a small part of the experience. It's no good to take pictures if you're like not really genuinely smiling, you know, if you're not genuinely having a good time. You get what I mean? Like, it's so much more important to cultivate like situations that feel good all the time, and to take pictures from a place of like, you know, seeing what you've done with your partner. I think that's the focus, not like just how you will look. I think that's just like such a young kid perspective. I understand it, but I don't at the same time, because you know, it's just such a small part of the picture, pun intended. Anyway, we need to get out of the house and do a walk. I wanted to put on makeup, but that did not happen today. This fucking fly, I swear to God. I put my little fly swatter in Brooke's room, and yeah, I can't find it now. So the moral of my story is, if you are lucky enough to find love with someone, you should be thinking about how to make that love grow, and worry. I don't know, as a woman, it really is just, it comes down to how you look. But that can change, and that will change. So like, if you're with a guy because he likes that you're skinny, if that's the only thing that he likes you for when you get fat, what do you have? Nothing. And if a guy just likes you for your looks and you don't like wearing makeup all the time, or you know, whatever, you need a strong foundation. You can't have like a weak or a flimsy foundation for a marriage. It's so much more than the wedding photos. I think people like, it's not even really about the ring, but it is. It's like about the financial. Guys will spend a bunch of money on like dumb stuff, and then something for you, they're like, yeah, that kind of shows you like, I don't know if there's really a future in this. Because it's all about valuing other people. You can't make them do it for you. And a wedding is an expression of that shared value for one another. So it's not just about like the woman having her special day, or the guy having whatever. It's supposed to be a shared experience. It's a merging of two families. You know, I don't know. I just think that's like such a vain attitude. When I was younger, I guess I used to worry about stuff like that more. As I'm getting older, I'm like, you said that out loud. Anywho,